Because it's the hardest part of the ring. Hey, it's the hardest part of the ring. Okay, sometimes you go over the top rope and then you bang your head on the ring apron. Why do you do that? That's when you feel like a big dope. Because they're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Two more. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag. Then you go ahead and make your own comeback. Why do you do that? That's when you should quit wrestling. And you're better off rolling a thumbtacks. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. One more. Sometimes you're distracting the referee. And the babyface he has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched to the ring apron, and you realize all the trouble you're in when it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Here we go, Bob Squad. It's Monday Night Raw 3.0. I don't know what they're called. I think this is just Raw. Double clapping away. Getting super jacked, Chris Miwa. Here we go. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa. Yay. What's going on, Bob Squad? We are bushwhacking our way through another episode of the hardest part of the ring. The intentionally worst wrestling podcast in history of the world. Arguably the greatest of all time. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the Hulu edition. The Hulu edition, the not limited enough commercial interruption Hulu edition of Monday Night Raw on September 20th of 2021. Should we talk first about the dark side of the ring and the airplane and Ric Flair and Tommy Dreamer and the comments and the harassment and the sexual acts and the sexual assault and the drugging one another and inappropriate behavior and the fighting on an airplane amongst big men and cutting off people's ponytails? Should we be talking about any of that? I don't know. Maybe at the end. Whatever. There's nothing for me to add. Everything's terrible. Humanity should be canceled. How about that? Let's just cancel the whole thing. How do we open the show? Well, not with Ric Flair, because he is out of the signature. He's been replaced by the Ultimate Warrior, who thankfully has always been without controversy. Just put more Randy. Is there any Randy Savage in the thing? I have to look. Put Randy Savage in there. What did he ever do? His last years, he visited children's hospitals. Oh, what an asshole. Never show Randy Savage. God, I hate this company. We open the show with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. And then there's a signature with no Ric Flair. And another place you won't find the signature with Ric Flair is the AEW contracts. Hey, oh, come on now. Come on now. The New Day and Big E opens, and it's a big celebration, of which it should be. It should really always... I always think Raw should open with the new champion. I used to hate it when Triple H would lose it to, let's say, Benoit, when obviously before the Benoit stuff went down, because Benoit's alive. Like, Benoit would lose it to... Triple H would lose it to Benoit or someone else, or Goldberg, whoever the hell at that time, and then the next Raw would open with Triple H, and the story would be that Triple H isn't the champion, and not that so-and-so is the champion. So when everyone says, oh, Booker should have beat him at Mania 19 and 03, yeah, I agree. But also, what do you think would have happened the next day on Raw? It would open with Triple H talking about him not being a champion. So, I mean, I understand, yeah, it seemed like Booker winning that was it. That's way off topic. Hardest part of the ring. The New Day and Big E are celebrating. A New Day enter first. New Day, God love him. Xavier Woods is dressed like He-Man from the Masters of the Universe. And Kofi Kingston is wearing the Skeletor outfit that he wore a couple of months ago. I think it was Money in the Bank, where he was defeated soundly by Bobby Lashley. So the New Day, the two members who aren't the champion at the moment, are dressed like He-Man and Skeletor, respectively. Gotta love that. Announcers call no attention to it, because why would you? I don't see why you can't, because they're both toy-wise, they're both Mattel properties, WWE and He-Man right now. I guess of all the crossovers, that would be the only one they're really allowed to do. Not that they go out of their way to ask permission as it is. What happens here? There's a lot of talking. Oh, yeah, there's a nice tribute to Brody Lee. Big E looks above and he mentions his one friend in the heavens looking over. And everyone knew it was Brody Lee. And that was cool. It's good to see that moment. The announcers made an error. They said Roman Reigns had won the championship last year at SummerSlam. No, he did not. He returned at SummerSlam and they had another pay-per-view 7 days later for no reason called Payback. And Roman Reigns won the championship there in a triple threat against The Fiend and Braun Strowman, who are no longer with us. Not dead, not just not working there. So Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Paul Heyman have interfered, and they are arguing with the New Day. So, because I guess there's going to be a 6-man tag we've advertised, the Bloodline versus the New Day. Very good, very big, very Survivor Series main eventy type of match in this day and age. They do this great 6-man tag. I haven't liked a 6-man tag team match since the days of the Shield and the New Day, oddly enough. This was terrific. We have new characters on a television screen that people don't see there every week. The crowd reacted so heavily to Roman's appearance, and there was legal double teaming. See, sorry, I'm going to get on AEW's case right now. They do have a better show at the moment, but this is legal double teaming. It's not the stupid Bucks who don't know anything, who can't work, who have to just treat every tag like a tornado rules thing. No, New Day, especially Woods and Kofi, get in, get out, get in, get out, tag, tag, tag. They obey the 5 count. So they just show off that they're a good tag team. And it's really mostly the two smaller New Day members, I guess, versus the Usos for the bulk of this. Teasing, of course, not just the 2 big guys, but more importantly, the 2 champions in a ring at the same time. I know the Usos are tag champions, but let's be serious. Right before the break, Roman beats Kofi's ass, and it's one of the best. He was so vicious in a way he threw Kofi around and tossed him into the post and a barricade, the table, whatever the hell it was. He tossed him around, and he really just showed he wasn't there to play. And they went to the break. They came back, and the match continues. All sorts of great back and forth stuff. And usually in an opening match, I wouldn't like a million false finishes. This needed it. It's a 6-man tag. They're all stars. Go for it. And Lashley comes out, and he beats up the New Day in front of the referee. And there's no DQ. I don't mean it's a no DQ match. I mean there isn't a disqualification. Why is there not a DQ taking place? Is what I'm trying to say. It's in front of the referee. The guys got beat up. Then they win. If you get beat up by someone who's not in a match, you win by disqualification. No, yes. Everybody's first day in pro wrestling. What happened, guys? What happened? Did somebody take the day off? Come on. What happened? So anyway, there's not a DQ in this DQ in this no DQ match. Eventually there's a spear on Woods from Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Roman pins Woods, and then there's a spear on Roman from Bobby Lashley as well. So Lashley hits Roman as well. He doesn't like either of these champions, so we have a bunch of issues. And then I think Lashley had a spear. He did a big spear on E as well. Okay, so Lashley spears both the champions. Very good. And then we go to a break, and we come back from a break. And Bobby Lashley yells at Sonya Deville and Adam, and they stare at each other for too long. RK Bro have matching headphones. Big E yells at the 2 manager people on his own and says, "Make it happen," which is not too far from "Make it so," Jean-Luc Picard, which I wish he would. And he probably will at some point. Heyman, Paul Heyman comes into Sonya and Adam again, and he says, he starts yelling about how he's not yelling, LOL, and the 2 manager people make it a triple threat match, Lashley, Roman, Big E tonight for the main event. That's ginormous. That is freaking-normous. I'll talk about that a lot later, and why wouldn't I? It's the main event of the show I'm reviewing. Randy Orton and AJ Styles wrestle. These are like the 2 greatest wrestlers on Monday Night Raw. Why do I not want to see them wrestle? Oh, because they've wrestled. It's been AJ versus one of them every week for 3 months, and it's I was at that San Diego one. I was at a month ago. It was AJ and Riddle with Orton at ringside. How many AJ versus Riddle, AJ Orton matches do we got to see? Apparently a lot. It's never ending, which is a shame because they're both so talented. Interesting finish here. These 2, much like AJ when AJ was wrestling John Cena in 2016-17, these 2 are better when they do even less, if that makes sense. They're so good. They do this wonderful finish. Omos tripped up. Omos gets kicked out for tripping up Randy Orton, but never really seems to leave anyway. And then he uppercuts Riddle. And Riddle at some point tries to get the na-na-na song, the na-na-na-na, hey, 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 goodbye song, and it doesn't really take, but that's a shame. Supposedly the old story is, according to some podcast I don't listen to anymore, that Vince loves the Na 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 song. Play the Na 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 song. God damn it. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Okay. So they do a fun little spot with Orton getting ready to give the Iggy, like, give his move to AJ Styles. AJ bounces off does a springboard on the rope, but then goes back down to the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. And they both point at each other like, hey, I got you, no, I got you, I got you. And then AJ sticks his head through the rope like a dumbass, because apparently he's never wrestled Randy Orton before. Takes that DDT, and then takes the RKO. 1, 2, 3, Orton wins. This is a fun little additive. Additive? The hell am I talking about? Orton had a little bit of blood like on his eyebrow, and that's my favorite kind of blood, because it's not excessive, it's not gross, it's not gratuitous, but at the same time it's very real, because even though it was on him, you could see Riddle do the hand motion to him that, hey, your eyebrow is just a little cut, because it makes the whole thing look real. A little bit of a bloody lip, a little bit of a busted nose, a little bit of a cut eyebrow here, those little things, those scratched elbows or whatever, those things add to it. It doesn't even have to be blood. It could be like bruises. Like anytime Sheamus wrestles anyone, and Sheamus lights him up, and they light him up back, of course, because he's so pale. You can see he's all battered up. Adds a lot of realism. There's a package for Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Shayna wrestles Nia Jax, and Shayna wins this. Oh my goodness, what happened here? I won't lie to you. This is a bit of a guilty pleasure. They had a match to show, okay, Nia's powerful. They keep saying powerful, she's just bigger. And Shayna, hit and runs and gives her the kicks and then chops her down with the kicks eventually in the knees. Tries to choke her out. And Shayna just beats Nia clean in the middle. And I'll be damned. I will be damned. I didn't think that was going to happen. My safe money was on Nia beats Shayna in 3 minutes with some big fat thing. Okay, Bob, that wasn't nice. Whatever. And then we do a whole big attack afterwards. Shayna stomps Nia's hand in the steps and then stomps it against the steps, the whole thing. So Shayna just stomps to hell or breaks, kayfabe breaks Nia Jax's arm there. This is great. No one saw it coming. It's totally believable because of who Shayna is and everyone knows it. It's something different. I think we need a break from Nia Jax. She'll be back next week in a sling, beating everybody up, demanding a match or something. My only little nitpick is that it makes Nia sympathetic, and I mean, I'm afraid of Nia coming back as a babyface. That's going to get even further shoved down our throats. If she couldn't lose before, now she's really got to win everything. She's a babyface. Like, Jesus. And then beat Charlotte. Like, jeez. Oh, we'll get to Charlotte in a second. Oh, we won't. Hulu doesn't usually do 3 big female segments, but they did. We have new champs coming up next. Let me go backwards. I'm interested in what's ahead for Shayna Baszler. Because Charlotte's going to need new opponents, and we're going to get to that. Today is Wednesday as I film this. Yeah, in 5 days, Charlotte's going to need new opponents. Whenever next Monday is, based on that segment. So, and if Shane is a heel, taking people out, it's all worthless. Charlotte's going to need some baby faces. Or not bury Alexa on Sunday, and got news for you. New tag team champs for the women are next. Rhea Ripley and Nikki a.sh defeat Tamina and Natalya for the women's tag team championships. Okay, let's get this bullshit out of the way. I saw a little internet on the rumor, a little conspiracy theory, that Natalya lost the tag team championships because Vince McMahon was upset that Owen Hart and his likeness have been lended to AEW and whatever their agreement is for merchandising, video games, action figures, t-shirts, I'm sure, etc., 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 in partnership with the Owen Hart Foundation, blah, 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 blah. Vince McMahon has no idea what's going on with AEW or Owen Hart, I promise you. I promise you. His thing, it doesn't take, the AEW Owen Hart thing doesn't take money away from WWE. It was money they weren't going to make anyway. It's embarrassing and it's a little off-putting, but it means AEW is going to make some extra money. What are they going to do with it? I don't know. Probably sign another one of the the guys you like that you never, the guys we like that you never use. Probably, I don't know. That's for another time. But this is my guess is we've heard for years. It's no secret. We've heard for years that Vince McMahon is in love with those. He likes the underdogs that are like those Mighty Mouse characters. No one knows who the fuck Mighty Mouse is anymore, but apparently that's his obsession. Except he loves to beat them and bury them. He loves to build up underdogs just a little bit and then forever beat the shit out of them. And so I think he's just big on Rhea and big on Nikki rather, and he thinks Nikki and Rhea need something to do. And it might have just been how, like, hey, let's just have a big show. Let's have a happy moment. Tamina and Natalia can win it back in the near future if necessary. Maybe Tamina and Natalia just don't have plans for the two of them. I don't know. New tag team champions. So very interesting. And Nikki a.sh has won the women's tag team championships on 3 occasions now. 2 with Alexa, 1 with Rhea. If anyone needs to know that. I wouldn't know that either. Oh, the playground segment. Okay. It's Alexa Bliss. She has Charlotte as her guest. There's the fake grass, the swing, the slide, the whole thing. Alexa has her doll Lily, and she digs up Charlotte's doll Charlie. And okay, that stuff aside, the first half of this was awesome. It was Charlotte tearing down Alexa, and it was a thing. It was great. It was almost kind of forbidden, not really, but I'm mentioning Alexa pre-Fiend days. She didn't mention the Fiend, but you know, which we just never hear about. They just kind of pretend that Alexa was always how she is now. So for Charlotte to even bring it up, it was like, oh wow, and this was great. And then it's Alexa's turn to tear down Charlotte, and Alexa's doing her part just great, but Charlotte, I'm the biggest Charlotte apologist. I'd even put her over stronger than they have in years. And with that said, Charlotte fucked Alexa here, like badly. She no sold everything Alexa said. She wouldn't let anything Alexa say visibly get to her, and the only thing that made this feud interesting was that someone was finally bothering Charlotte, getting in her head. Charlotte was not in control. That was the only thing interesting about this story, and they threw that away in the garbage. It made Alexa look like dog shit. The segment's not even over yet. So, and of course, Alexa, okay, so for obvious recent events, she can't mention Rick. She alludes to it. She alludes to the woo, and that's not even yours, She can't say it's your dad's, clearly. But, we all know, but it's like we all know, but just don't say it, kind of thing. And yeah, Alexa got a little hindered, and I mean, she's already a foot shorter, like literally like a foot shorter than Charlotte. And the whole idea is Alexa's was supposed to be ahead of a Charlotte with mind games. So now we're seeing Alexa almost half come out of character and drop her shtick and get rattled by Charlotte, only to have Charlotte not even rattled by her. And then there's physicality, and Charlotte beats up Alexa and tears up not Lily, because that's her main doll, and that's the merch seller for a little ways to come. But she tears up the temporary one. Okay, no big deal. You tear up the temporary doll, which is just for this angle. That's what it was made for. So who cares? And she tears it up she tears the head off, and then continues ripping it up down the aisle, whatever. And it leaves Alexa looking dumb and beat up in her platform. That's all her symbolism. No one should get the best of Alexa in the playground, ever. It's one thing to go on Miz TV and get the best of the Miz, because the Miz is a goof at this point, but no one. The idea of someone like the Miz is that you give him something to complain about the next week. Alexa should not have that. Alexa should have been a step ahead and have more ready for Charlotte than just a stupid doll. Because Charlotte's going to beat her on Sunday. Charlotte's going to beat her. So, with this being the go home show, and if you're a ticket buyer for the live Extreme Rules event, it should be a stay home show. LOL. I laugh in Spanish sometimes. Charlotte buried Alexa here. Knowing football, she's going to beat her on Sunday. Charlotte should have been left pissed off and frazzled and aggravated. I'm not saying Alexa has to kick her ass. Alexa should get the better of her and make us believe that Charlotte's title reign is in jeopardy. And that did not happen. We don't even know who hosts Jeopardy. We just fight about it on Twitter all the time. Okay, so there's a beheading of the doll. The lights come back on when there's physicality for no reason in that segment too, by the way. Okay, let's do the three-way because I gotta go back to lunch. I'm on my lunch break. I gotta go back to my remote job. I have a remote job. I just changed channels for people. Ah, did you like that, Chris? Keep lifting. Okay. You crazy cats. Oh, Bob Squad, what would I do without you? Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley versus Big E in the main event. So that means the Hulu did not get any of the Jeff Sheamus, Damian Priest stuff, and anything with if Karrion Kross did anything, it wasn't on Hulu. So we have this wonderful three-way. I have not much to say except wow, this is exciting. It's fun. The addition of Roman just makes it so much more interesting. Roman continues to wear red underwear under his black pants, and he has a red glove thingy. And I thought this was just terrific and fun to watch. No real comments here. You could argue Roman gets the pin here. He pins Lashley off a spear. Roman already won with a spear on Xavier Woods earlier in the night. Here's the thing. Have they announced the title match for Big E at the Extreme Rules? Because I don't think they have, unless I missed it. It's not Orton because he had his, and then we did the cash in. The only opponent for Big E is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley just got pinned in the middle of the ring. So, what the hell is Big E? What's his opponent? I mean, it has to be Bobby Lashley, right? Surely that's a match for this Sunday. It's the only match for E, and you have to have E on the show. But I've heard nothing. I only know there's Finn Balor, LOL, challenging Roman Reigns. Come on. Sorry, Finn. Roman's going to beat the Demon to make Finn less special. To make the Finn's Demon to just kill that completely. And then Charlotte's going to kill Alexa. So Charlotte and Roman are going to kill Finn and Alexa. That's the only thing we know for this Sunday at Extreme Rules. But there'll be a bunch of gimmicks and weapons, and people are going to get hurt and take bumps that are very dangerous, and that we're all going to forget because there's nothing memorable is going to happen on the show unless Brock shows up again. And the thing is, Roman needs all those pins because he's got to wrestle Brock in Saudi Arabia, which no one cares about. So Saudi and Brock, it just trickles down. Like Saudi and Brock actually fucks Big E. You know what I'm saying? It all trickles down. All of it matters. They hinted at a draft coming up. I guess that's next month. I don't really know. Okay, I gotta go back to work. Like I said, the hardest parts of the rings are gonna be they're gonna be a little later from here on in, but they're gonna get done. So I'm not the guy to go to for immediate results. We have social media applications and platforms, and all sorts of things where you can see the latest wrestling results and scandals and who sexually assaults who. Okay, isn't that fun? Anyway, just don't take any bumps on the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. I meant the apron.